Killjoy is now officially playable in Valorant. The Act 2 update brought a ton of new features to the game, and one of the biggest changes was the new agent. Today, we will be breaking down the agent Killjoy and giving all of you every bit of information you need to know to play the agent or play against her. Before we get into that, if you want to stay up to date with all Killjoy information, including tips and tricks videos, be sure to subscribe with notifications on because 98% of you aren't, and on this channel we upload daily Valorant content to help you improve your Valorant skills. For the rest of this week, we will be uploading all Killjoy content, so if you're looking to main her, then this is the perfect channel for you. So Killjoy is an agent that brings her killer robot buddies and other unique equipment to the game of Valorant. She is somewhat like a combination of Raze and Cypher, except without dealing too much damage from her abilities, because this would just make her overpowered. Let's start off this video by talking about her first ability, Alarmbot. This ability deploys a robot that is stealth once placed, and it won't be able to be seen by enemies until they enter into the range of the bot. A quick tip regarding this ability is to pay attention while placing it, because the range is actually shown, emphasized by the seafoam green circle surrounding the holographic ability. Make sure that there isn't any way for players to maneuver around the ability without triggering the bot. So for example, let's take Ascent B Tons. Line up the circle so that it's touching both sides of the doorway. This way, players will have to interact with the Alarmbot in order to push onto site. One thing we haven't talked about though is what this robot does once players are inside its area. Well, once this happens, the robot comes out of stealth mode and jumps towards the enemies like this. Once this happens, you will be able to notice a small circle glowing on your opponent. While this glowing is occurring, your opponent will become vulnerable and take double damage from all sources. When the Alarmbot hits a player, they will not take any additional damage from the hit, they will only experience the vulnerable state. If the player in this state wants to know how much more time they have left, then they can just look at the red bar just above their health. This is home to the countdown clock that shows the exact time left. Don't worry, this will be in your language, but this was the only footage we could find of the ability being used on a player. Also, keep in mind that if you happen to place the Alarmbot in a bad position or you just want to save a few credits for the next round, you can recall the ability by holding down the equip key. This ability can be super strong on pistol and save rounds because players are able to deal so much more damage with less mainstream weapons. If you want a fun experience with this weapon, then we suggest trying out shotguns and any other crazy weapons. Imagine a double damage yielding Odin. That sounds like a scary combination. So let's say that you're now going up against this ability in match. How exactly would you want to counter it? Well, once you get close enough to the ability, there should be a red hologram that pops up to show you exactly where this ability is. The distance does not fall within the bot's range, so you don't have to worry about it seeing you. Now you have two options. You can fall off and go to another site, or you can shoot the bot to destroy it. This ability is really similar to Cypher's Tripwire, so play it like you would play that. Keep in mind that as soon as the bot activates, Killjoy will probably swing out and contest you in a gunfight. As for the economical side of this ability, this will cost you 200 credits in order to use. Luckily, Killjoy players will only be allowed to purchase one piece of this utility, but this isn't the case with our next ability, Nanoswarm. Nanoswarm is an ability that is found inside a small grenade that you're able to throw similar to Viper's Poison Cloud. Just like all the other throwable abilities, you have two options. Right click for a lob short throw or left click for a Hail Mary long distance chuck. Once this ability hits the ground, it goes into the same style of stealth mode as the Alarmbot. This means that you're able to shoot it similar to the Alarmbot. However, this ability differs by requiring Killjoy to activate it like Viper's Poison Cloud in order to use the ability. Once this ability is activated, Nanobots will swarm around players and deal a ton of damage. You do not want to find yourself in this purple area because it kills enemies almost instantly. Damage is taken in increments of 15 damage, which is a ton. And here's a quick look at how fast players will die while inside the ability. The time to kill with this utility is crazy, and as time goes by, I'm sure players will find a counter to it, but right now, the only way I see to counter it is by using your agent's utility, such as Reyna's Dismiss or Omen's Teleport. These will allow you to disregard all damage taken by the ability, but you could also use Raze's satchels in order to limit the amount of time in the damage yielding area. Killjoy will have 2 Nanoswarm grenades, so if you see one, then there might be a good chance another one's hiding around the next corner. My biggest advice when it comes to playing against this ability is to shoot it before Killjoy gets the chance to activate it. If you're planting the spike and you see one of these next to you, stop planning and shoot the ability. This will save you from dying a lot. Moving right along, the third ability that Killjoy has is her turret. The name of this ability has not yet been chosen, so it could be called something else in the future, but this is just the ability where Killjoy places a machine that basically shoots for you. This will most likely be Killjoy's most creative ability because if you're able to place the turret in uncommon positions, you should be able to deal a good bit of damage to your opponent. This machine will have a 180-degree cone and it will fire at any enemies found in this area. This is a pretty big factor to keep in mind when placing your turret, but luckily in the next week, I will be uploading a Killjoy guide on the best turret locations. So if this is something that you're interested in seeing, then be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Moving back to the turret, we should really talk about the damages this ability will deal. Here's a look at a simple graphic Valorant leaks posted to Twitter. As you can see, the turret shoots in a 3-round burst, and from 0 to 19 meters, each bullet will deal 8 damage, totaling for a burst of 24 damage. Once the turret shoots from a farther range of 20 to 34 meters, each bullet will deal 6 damage, resulting in a burst of 18 damage. Lastly, if the turret is shooting from a distance farther than 35 meters, each bullet will deal 4 damage, resulting in a 12 damage burst. It is crucial that you place your turret within 0 to 19 meters so that the ability doesn't turn into a wet paper towel. And another thing to keep in mind is that the turret will have 125 HP, so it's as if another player is on your team. This ability will also be pretty strong on pistol rounds, so keep this in mind if pushing a site that Killjoy might be holding. A great way to counter the turret is by jiggle peeking angles. If you can just barely peek out, you'll be able to see the turret before it starts shooting at you. And as long as you jump back into cover relatively quickly, this should be okay. I expect that Killjoy will most likely be holding crossfires with her ability, so you might want to consider peeking angles with your back turned to the turret whenever you know where the exact location of it is. Another option to counter the turret will be with the smokes, so get those controllers ready to do their job. Honestly, only time will tell the best way to counter all of Killjoy's abilities, but I'll be sure to keep you guys updated in future uploads. Now, the final topic we need to discuss is Killjoy's ultimate ability, Lockdown. This ultimate will cost you 7 ult points and grant you easy free kills by making everyone in a certain area put away their weapons. Here's what this ability will end up looking like once players get hit. You better just hope you don't miss your spray. So with this ability, Killjoy must place a second spike that creates a large area on the map. Then players have 13 seconds to either destroy the spike or run away so that they don't get hit by it. 13 seconds is plenty of time, so you should never be in a situation where you get checkmated by this ultimate. Now, you might find yourself in a bad position, but that's just how it is. So like I said earlier, this ability is able to be destroyed and it will have 150 HP. Here's what the ultimate will look like from Killjoy's point of view. And now here's what the enemy player will see during the 13 seconds. And as you can see, they end up shooting the ability in the end. After the 13-second activate phase, players will then get put into a detained state where they put away their weapon and become sitting ducks. You will be able to see these 2 new HUD elements that give you more information on the ultimate's effects. If you're caught in the detained state, you will stay here for about 8 seconds. You really want to treat this ultimate as a must escape situation because if you find yourself inside the ultimate's range, you will most likely die. A good way to counter this ultimate will be with Brimstone's ultimate ability. The only key with this is that you need to know where the ultimate spike-like machine is. Then it's as simple as just ulting on top of it. Well, that's how Killjoy works. She has super strong abilities that will have the opposing team constantly guessing which site not to go to. She is a super strong defensive agent that can use her abilities to gain huge advantages in every fight she takes. Hopefully this ultimate Killjoy guide helped you out, and if it did, be sure to like this video and subscribe with notifications on for more daily Valorant content. Thanks so much for watching all the way through this video, and if you did, be sure to let me know what your initial opinions are on the agent. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's guide, and I'll see you all in the next one.